Right. So I am here to talk about why robotics in education is important. So I think one of the first things that students have to understand is when they do go out in the workforce, robotics, automation, AI is going to be very prevalent. So, for example, in this course, we learned about some self-driving cars. Um, Cash registers are now going from being human operated to robotic operated. So, for example, with our Edison, that's one of the things that we can use, for example, for um, with sensors. So basically, we can program it to where if it gets close to something, it does whatever code you want. It could stop, turn 90 degrees, and go right, basically whatever you want. So this is just a very simplified version of a self-driving car. Programming self-driving cars to do, um, anything like that. If it gets close to something, it stops, or what have you. Um, so yeah, I think it's important for students to understand that this is going to be prevalent in their lives. So maybe you're not going to be a cashier, but you're going to program the robot that is not only a cashier but is taking inventory at the end of the night and using automation to do all sorts of different things to help customers and whatnot. I think that robotics is fun and engaging in this day and age where everything is so readily available for students. They want information now. They want to be busy all the time, and I think robotics satisfies that because it is interesting and engaging for most. Um, so yeah, I'm going to get into a little bit about coding the Edison. Okay, I just want to briefly go over what the Edison is capable of doing. So, at a very simple level, again, the Edison can go forward, go backwards, spin at any degree you want. Again, you can program this in meters, centimeters, inches, anything you want, and you can go in and again program it to spin 5 degrees, 120 degrees, anything of your choosing. A little more sophisticated, you can have it detect things. So when it gets close to something, it has that LED beam in there where it can detect if anything is in front of it, and you can, or to the right of it, and you can program it to do certain things. You can also program it as a clap sensor. You can program it to, whenever it hears a clap, it does it performs a certain function. It also has line detecting, where it can follow certain lines. So yeah, there's a numerous possibilities with the Edison. So I'm going to show you just a couple right now. Okay, I want to take a look at this. This is a very basic code that I wrote in order to get the Edison to drive in a hexagon. So as you'll see at the top, in line 4, you're going to have import ed. Line 6, just letting the program know that you have version 2 of Edison. We have line 8, which is the distance. We're going to go in centimeters. You could also easily change this to inches or whatever you'd like. And then the tempo is going to go medium. So again, this is just a very basic setup, and this is going to be imported when you go to the Ed app. So you don't really have to worry about that. It's just a matter if you want to change it versions and the distance. So in this, I had it doing a hexagon like I said. It needs, so degree to turn equals 60. So that means every time that we have, so the 4x in range 6, so each time the code is entered, it's going to turn 60 degrees whenever you skip down to line 18 where it says degrees to turn. So as you see, line 17, ed drive forward at a speed of 4, and that's 30, again, centimeters going back to line 8. So it's going to drive forward 30 centimeters, and then it's going to spin left. As you see, line 18, it's going to spin left at a speed of 4, and then it's going to turn, and it's going to refer back to that line 13, where it's going to turn 60 degrees. Okay, I'm now going to introduce reading a clap sensor. So as you can see from this code here, line 18, reading the clap sensor. So while the clap is detected, then it's going to go back up to that while statement. It's going to play the Mary Had a Little Lamb. After that, it's going to go ahead and get into the code for line 30 of driving forward. So let's see how this works. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. And it's going to play the tune to start off. Okay, so now I'm going to clap, and the right LED is going to come on. It's going to take off. Red LED on. Wait time, and it'll take off. Okay, so the next thing I want to brush over is the obstacle detection beam. So as you can see in line 12, that has to be turned on. So while this is true, so basically the Edison is just going to drive forward at a speed of 5 until it comes in contact with something, until it senses something either ahead, to the right, or to the left. So jumping down to line 25, if something is on the left, it's going to spin right 90 degrees at a speed of 5. Something is on the right is going to spin left. Same thing, speed of 5, 90 degrees. And if something is ahead, it is going to spin right 90 degrees. Again, at a speed of 5. And I have it playing some different tones in there, as well, as you can see at the bottom of each line. So let's take a look at this and see how it works. Okay, so my assignment for my students, which I will be doing second grade next year, so this would be a second grade assignment. Their objective would be to write a program so that when their Edison drives, that it makes a capital letter T. So what I'm going to want them to do is I'm going to want them to put tape or something on the floor to mimic that letter, and then I want their robot to trace the letter. It doesn't matter to me how the size of the letter. It also doesn't matter the program code written, as far as when it gets to the top, it spins right. As you can see there by my sloppy diagram, and obviously I would draw this in front of the kids and kind of make this more clear. But so it's going to go up, it's going to spin to the right 90 degrees, and then coming back, if they wanted to spin 180 degrees and go all the way across the top to complete the T, or they could have it drive backwards. So that's kind of up to them, and that's kind of why I like the assignment. It gives them a little bit of freedom and leadway. So yeah, that's the objective. For the rubric, my district uses a 1 through 4 grading scale. I'm going to say that 4 is not applicable just because I usually don't give 4s. It's usually somebody that goes above and beyond, something that's really outstanding, and for this it just doesn't apply. To get a 3, which is meeting, students just need to basically do it correctly. So they need to write the code correctly and be able to trace the T. Students who are not meeting, they would have some sort of error in the code, or something that doesn't allow them to meet the objective of tracing the T. And a 1, which would be unsatisfactory, is just a student that didn't even try to complete this.